There are 7 ideologies in Rise of Nations, each one good and bad in different situations. So today I'm going to show you what each one does, and then more importantly, when each one is good or not and how you can decide. So stick around because the end is the most important. I leave it on the line for last, you will see later why. So I'll start from left to right. The first ideology is socialism. The only debuffs are minus 10% tax income and minus 0.25% base population growth. On the other hand, it increases manpower by 40%, reduces justification time by 15%, gives plus 3 base stability, lower war exhaustion, and plus 50% factory output and lower military reinforcement costs. Now, if you don't know what factory output is, I'll explain it further. Different strategy for socialism and communism in another video made just for this. But for now, higher factory output simply means that the factory produces more stuff, as you can see right here. Next is communism, basically a stronger version of socialism. It gives plus 100% manpower, minus 25% tax income, minus 25% justification time, minus 10% arrest reduction, and some other bonuses. What really matters is the plus 125% factor output. However, you will gain more corruption, less money from taxes, but also lower war exhaustion. If you compare socialism and communism, socialism is good in many more scenarios. Even if you don't have a lot of resources, it doesn't destroy tax income. There are also many countries that can be played socialism. Communism, on the other hand, is stronger but only specific countries like Russia. In most other cases, communism is kind of bad. Now we move on to liberalism. Most people say it's the worst ideology in the game. I kind of agree, since I can't remember the last time I used it, except when I wanted to switch to democracy later. Liberalism gives plus 40% tax income and better unrest reduction, higher investment reliability, but if you want to be an aggressive player, it's bad. It takes longer to justify wars. You lose 1 stability for every war declared, and your army becomes more expensive. Democracy is basically the same, but with plus 110% tax income, which is the main difference. Even if democracy makes attacking harder, it compensates by making you very rich. That's why democracy is good and liberalism is worse. However, liberalism can sometimes be useful because of a recent update in the elective assembly law for liberalism and democracy, which can increase research efficiency or give you even more money. Because of this update, liberalism is no longer completely trash. As for democracy, it depends. You need to be big enough for it to matter and manage your wars carefully, otherwise you are cooked. Next is nationalism. It's the most valuable ideology in Rise of Nations, also the best in my opinion. With the recent updates, I think nationalism will still remain top 3, and here's why. It's the only ideology with 0 debuffs. It only gives buffs such as plus 15% manpower, minus 25% military upkeep, minus 25% justification time, plus 5% base stability, plus 1 stability on offensive wars. Then we have fascism. It has the same buffs as nationalism but increase plus a third diplomatic action. The debuffs are minus 10% tax income and minus 20% unrest reduction. It's really good for an aggressive player style. Now, non-aligned. Sometimes it's strong, sometimes it's not. The most important thing about it is that you should not rush an ideology. Also, if you pay attention to the gameplay in the background, you can see that I used only non-aligned and still won. This proves that you should choose an ideology only when you have nothing else to do with political power. So which ideology is good and when? Because of the recent update, communism has become stronger and absolute monarchy plus fascism is no longer a great combo. The left path should be used when your goal is spamming troops, because this strategy combined with mass attack allows you to field millions of troops. So how do you counter that? With stronger specialized troops. If you face a strategy, counter it with stronger specialized divisions, static defensive lines, and better positioning, not numbers. If you want safe gameplay, go nationalism, money and late game power democracy, endless manpower socialism and communism, aggressive expansion nationalism and fascism. So after analyzing all the ideologies in Rise of Nations, here's the bottom line. Nationalism is the safest and most versatile choice for most countries. It gives stability, cheaper armies, and works in almost any situation. Socialism and communism are perfect if your goal is to spam troops and overwhelm enemies, but communism only works well for large industrial countries. Liberalism and democracy are best for economic focused or late game strategy where money and research matter more than manpower. Fascism is strong for aggressive, fast paced wars, especially mid to late game, but you have to manage unrest and timing carefully. Non-aligned is your waiting option. Stay neutral until you know exactly which ideology fits your strategy. In short, choose ideologies based on your country, your goals, and the situation on the map, not just what seems strongest. That's the key to mastering ideologies.